how to develop an eye for style in 4 easy, fun steps without having to buy a course. One of the most frequent questions I receive from readers and followers here at YouTube is, how do I know if something is stylish or not? Well, honestly, I think you have to develop an eye for style, an eye for good style, for what is truly what we would consider stylish. And today I'm going to share with you 4 easy and really fun things to do to help you develop more of an eye for good style. Hi, my name is Kay, and this is Dress for My Day. And you know, I show up here every Wednesday, mostly to encourage women over 50, because that's me. I'm 60, and I figure that's probably who I'm reaching here. And I want to encourage you to show up your most stylish, most modern, most relevant, so that you can continue to engage in the world around you and make a difference. I feel like we have so much left to offer, and I know sometimes around this age we start losing our footing. We kind of start feeling a little frumpy or a little dumpy, and we don't have to. We absolutely can be stylish women. But you know, good style is in the eye of the beholder, so don't put too much weight on what we're talking about here today. If you love something and you feel your best in it, it resonates with you and it brings you joy, then certainly go ahead and wear it. I'm not the fashion police, and neither are you, and so I'm not here to police fashion or tell you, oh yes, this is stylish and this is not. And that's not what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn, though, how to develop an eye for what truly is stylish. I think we're talking about style as far as appearing stylish to other people and just being overall considered a stylish woman. If that's a priority to you, if that's something important to you, and honestly it is to me, I want to be stylish, then listen up. I think I've got something for you today. Before we go into those 4 steps, though, there are some important considerations that I think you need to think about. And number 1 is, it may mean letting go of some preconceived notions. You know, let's face it, all of us have some preconceived ideas about style, about fashion, and those things come from maybe our mother, our aunts, our grandmothers, the women that kind of taught us or that demonstrated for us what to wear and how to wear things. Those ideas may have also come from experiences that we've had in the past, or maybe like where we live, especially if you've lived in one place all your life. Or on the other end, your experience, your preconceived ideas could come from travel, from being exposed to a lot of different things throughout your life. Those preconceived ideas also could come from rules that we've heard, those fashion rules that we grew up with, the conventions of the day. And I have to tell you, I think most rules are just gone out the window. But if you're holding on to those rules, then you're holding on to those preconceived ideas. And honestly, I think that's a big hindrance to developing a good eye for good style. So let's be willing to let go of some of those preconceived ideas. Maybe you need to think about what they are for you. Do you have some ideas about style that maybe, like I said, are based on what your mom taught you, or what you learned in your community where you live, or some places that you've been, or the other women that you've interacted with, or the rules that you've heard along the way? It may be time to at least check those at the door. You can always come back to them if you need to. Kind of put them aside, though, as we look at style from a fresh perspective. The second thing that we need to remember before we start on these 4 steps is that style evolves. Like everything else, things change, style changes. And so if you want to have a good eye for style, you're going to have to be willing to change your ideas about fashion and move forward a little bit every year. And finally, we do want to remember that style is personal and it's individual. There is no one good style. We're all going to see things from our perspective, from the things that resonate with us. In fact, as I name these 4 steps, I want you to think about them, think about going through these 4 steps with your personal style in mind. Because I do believe that we all have a personal style, whether we have specifically and intentionally curated it, or if we just happened into it. So think about your personal style. We've talked about having those 3 style angles to kind of define your style and keep you in the parameters of your own personal style. But now, as I go through these 4 steps, I want you to carry that information with you as you go through these 4 steps to developing an eye for good style. Step number one, are you ready for this? Is don't just appreciate your style icon, study her. Do you have a style icon? I think most of us do. I think most of us have a woman or two that we look up to their style, we appreciate it, we like it from afar, we kind of wish we could emulate it if only we knew how. It may be someone from the past like Audrey Hepburn, Doris Day, it could be Jackie Kennedy Onassis, or even Caroline Bessette Kennedy. And of course, who doesn't love the way Grace Kelly dressed? Of course, all of those are from the past. There are some current, I guess you'd say famous style icons today. People like Kate Middleton certainly comes to mind. Maybe Halle Berry, Reese Witherspoon, Victoria Beckham, Amal Clooney. Those are just some of the more famous ones. But you know what? Style icons can live closer to home than that too. Maybe there's someone at your church or at your place of work, someone in your community, or someone that you just happen to see at the mall all the time. Maybe in fact it's your stylist at one of the places that you shop. You just love the way she pulls things together. Okay, well here's the step though, is don't just appreciate how that woman dresses. Don't just go, oh, I love what she has on, or I like what she's wearing today, or she always looks so stylish. But study her. Here are a few things that you might want to start noting about your style icons. Notice the overall vibe of her outfits. Does it resonate with you? Well, if it does, it's really important to notice the overall vibe of her outfit. Is it classic? Is it romantic? Is it kind of flirty and fresh? Or is it very subdued, very sophisticated and elegant? Does her style give off the vibes of being very relaxed, a little boho maybe? You know, what does it look like? What are the feelings that you get when you look at her outfits and when she walks in the room? Notice the overall vibe. Next, notice the lines of her outfit. Are her outfits body hugging, or do they hang far from her body? Did the clothes skim her body, or do they hug her body? Are the lines long and lean, or do you notice a lot of, chopped up places, like maybe she wears cropped jackets and cropped t-shirts and high-waisted jeans and shorts and shorter dresses? Where are the lines? Are there a lot of horizontal lines in her outfit that just really flatter her curves, or are there a lot of straight lines that make her look longer and leaner? Third, notice her use of color. Notice I didn't say notice the colors she wears, because all kinds of colors can be stylish, right? But notice your style icon's use of color. Does she wear one color at a time, or does she wear a lot of color at a time? Does she wear just one or two well-placed colors, or is the color everywhere in lots of prints and flurries in her outfits? Does she wear mostly neutrals, or does she wear a lot of color? And is that color really soft and muted, or is it bold and vibrant? Then you might want to see what colors she wears that do resonate with you, and you could duplicate the same sorts of things. Maybe if she's truly stylish, those are truly in-style colors. Fourth, notice the way she accessorizes. I've noticed that most style icons who really have like a look that just resonates and we all appreciate, we would all say she is stylish, those women tend to have developed signature accessories. For instance, I kind of think of the late Queen Elizabeth's use of hats and her satchel bags, the ones with a top handle that she always carried. And she usually wore, I think, pumps, also kind of a low block-heeled pump. So, I've noticed that Kate Middleton often wears a pretty clutch bag for evenings, and she always wears pretty pumps and always, of course, wears stockings, as is the dress code for the royals. But notice the accessories that your style icon uses. Maybe she uses big, bold statement jewelry, and you love it, and it really works the way she uses it and how she pulls it together with her outfit. Or maybe she wears really beautiful, dainty, fine jewelry, and she really just plays it down, and it just kind of fades into her outfit, into her overall look, and doesn't grab your attention. So don't just notice the pieces she wears and envy them. This is not a call for that, but really just how does she use accessories to make her outfit? Maybe she uses belts to cinch a shirt dress. Maybe she uses a scarf around her neck to draw some color to her face. Or she always belts her trousers. How does she use accessories? And take note. And then finally, just notice any other additional details that your personal style icon tends to use or uses in a certain way. Maybe she does a lot of front tucks, or maybe she always tucks her shirt into her trousers. Maybe she tends to wear those full trousers with a high waist and a belt, kind of like, I'm thinking like Katharine Hepburn kind of trousers. Maybe she always wears beautiful shoes and you've just noticed the way she pulls her shoes together with the rest of her outfit. Take note of those things. Don't just admire and appreciate your style icon, study them. And another way that you can study your style icon is to build a Pinterest board. Of course, that means there's someone famous, not someone who lives around the block from you. But if you do have a famous icon from the past or from the present, it's a good idea just to get on the computer one day and pull up images of her. Just Google her, you'll find her, pull up images, put them on a Pinterest board. You can use it for inspiration, but you can also use it now just to really study what is it she does that makes her so stylish. Step number 2, I think, is a really important one, and that is to peruse the high-end brands. You don't have to shop them. You don't have to spend a dime there. You can go into those stores, ladies. It's quite okay. And I have found that wherever you tend to spend time is where you're going to develop your taste. So I do love shopping certain stores, and I know you do too, and we can shop stores all the way from Saks Fifth Avenue down to Kohl's and Walmart, and we can still find beautiful, stylish garments. But I have found that if I spend all my time in, for instance, let's just take this for instance, Talbots, then pretty soon I just begin to think all Talbots. That becomes my frame of reference. Nothing wrong with that. They have beautifully stylish clothes. But if I'd really want to develop a good eye for style, I need to spend some time outside of Talbots and in some other places too, specifically looking at some higher end brands. The truth is, and this is not meant to hurt, but the truth is that the higher end brands focus on and create their garments, their accessories, their shoes for the fashion-forward woman. Whereas the lower end brands, or let's just say the more budget-friendly brands, they focus on the woman who's a little bit slower to adapt to style trends. Therefore, they're not as fashion-forward. And you tend to find things there that are like in style, but 2 and 3 years later after they've become in style. So to develop a really stylish eye, I've just found it really necessary to spend some time admiring, studying, looking through the things that are offered from some of the higher end brands. Now you may be wondering, well, what brands should I be looking at? And exactly, where do I do that? You can certainly visit their stores if they have them around you, but you also can just get online and look at their online websites. So I'm thinking, for instance, let's just say, for instance, if you love shopping Talbots as much as I do, then first, though, spend some time in brands like Theory and Vince. Those are stores, or those are brands that are a little higher end, but they also have that classic modern style aesthetic. You also might want to spend some time on Me&M. They have a really classic style aesthetic, very traditional, but just really amped up a little bit more fashion forward. Once again, you don't have to buy anything in those places, and maybe they'll feel a little too fashion forward for you, but they'll whet your palate, so to speak, so that you will have a taste for what's truly stylish when then you go back to Talbots. What if you like shopping places like J. Jill? Then spend some time scouting out brands like Eileen Fisher and Frank and Eileen, which really do comfortable, relaxed clothes but they do it at a more elevated level. If you love shopping Chico's, then first spend some time scouting out brands like Alice and Olivia or maybe Cincaset. Some of those brands that really do color and they love bold and they love, lots of details, but they're at a higher end, they're a little bit more elevated. If you like things that are really just young and fresh and current, so you shop places like Loft, then first spend some time in places like Evereve or Anthropologie, which are also very youthful brands, but they are a little bit more edgy, a little bit more current. So once again, you don't have to shop those stores. Shop your budget by all means, but first spend some time developing that eye for style in those brands that are more fashion forward, and those tend to be the higher end brands. Step number 3, as you noticed, I'm giving you lots of homework. These are just 4 steps, but there's a lot to them. And step number 3 is to take a little field trip. Either A, you could go to a museum and really appreciate some of the fine art there. B, you could drive around the city or take a walking tour around a local city and appreciate the artful architecture there. Or C, you could take a walk through nature. When we get out and explore places like that and we expose ourselves to things that truly are stylish, they're created with great beauty and just a lot of flair. God created nature and He made it so beautiful and so eye-appealing. And people who are, architects have spent years and years developing an eye for what is appealing to us. And of course, the same thing with artists. They have an eye and they know how to communicate through their art. So when we spend time enjoying those things that truly are artful and inspiring, then we develop more of an eye for what's truly stylish. Another thing you could do, of course, and this is not just in a day or an afternoon, is travel. I've just noticed that the more I travel, the more I go to new places, visit different cultures, even if it's just going from, Cincinnati to, say, Seattle, Washington, just a different place, a different culture where they truly do dress differently. Or going down to, let's say, Miami, Florida, where they dress even differently. As the more we get around and get about and experience different cultures, the more we will develop an eye for good style. And step number 4 is to keep an eye on the classics, but also notice how they have evolved over the years. Classics are classic for a reason. They appeal to a broad range of people, and they never seem to lose their appeal. If you think about the classics, for instance, classic Levi jeans, a classic Levi's denim jacket, that classic Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's little black dress, classic black pumps. Think about what makes those classics a classic. What gives them their staying power? And when I do that, I've noticed that most things that we consider a classic are simple. There's not a lot of fuss, not a lot of muss. They're really very simple. The style aesthetic overall is just very pared back, and the lines are lean, and the ornamentation is just almost not there at all on many of those. And we have all developed kind of an eye for those really basic classics. And so one little suggestion is that when you are trying to decide between A or B, is this stylish or is this more stylish? Go with the more simple. Go with the one that doesn't have all the detailing, doesn't have all the ornamentation, doesn't have all the fuss and the muss, and that is leaner. And more than likely, that is the one that is indeed stylish. I hope this information helps you as you're making new purchases, but also as you're cleaning out your closet. Just this Monday, I have posted a new blog post in our style series, Define Your Style, Refine Your Wardrobe, about the 10 items that you might need to remove from your closet if you truly want to refine your wardrobe. And as you're going through your closet, it does help to have an eye for good style. So let me know in the comments today, who are your style icons? Do you have someone from the past or someone famous? Or maybe you have a friend or know someone who lives around you who you just really admire her style. Tell us about her in the comments below, and what are some of the details that you've noticed about her style that make it so iconic to you? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. I really appreciate it. And one of the ways that you can help us grow this channel and this community is simply to share this video. You can send a link in an email or a text, or you can share it on Facebook. That would be so helpful to me. Thanks so much for joining me, ladies, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye now.